That's pretty cool.
Mayor Jacobs,
I'm here.
Mr. Walter,
Present.
Ms. Urbana. Here. Mr. Leonard,
Here.
Mr. DiGiovanni,
Here.
Mr. First,
Here.
Mr. Wild,
Here.
Chairwoman Gotcha. Here. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Bedminster Township Land Use Board was filed with the Township Clerk, sent to the Burnsville News and the Courier News and to all subscribers, and posted at the Township Municipal Building, 1 Miller Lane, Bedminster, New Jersey, on January 9th, 2026.
Please stand for the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to open it up to the public if there's anything that anybody would like to discuss that's not on the agenda.
So again, if you're online and you'd like to discuss something not on the agenda, so that means not AT&T, that's who we're hearing tonight, you can either unmute yourself, raise your hand, or if you're in the audience, you can come up to the podium.
Anybody online?
No, ma'am?
Okay, then we'll close it to the public. We have some minutes that we need to approve. We can start with February 12th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone recuse themselves?
February, well, let's see,
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
Stephen.
Steve wasn't here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Steve was there, okay.
I'm thinking the last week.
Okay. And now we need to approve the February 26th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve February 26 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone need to recuse themselves?
Just Vinny was not here for that one, he's not here.
He's not Okay. All right. We also have a resolution for Tesla. We need to approve. So
Second.
Now, Santa and Jeff.
Yep.
Sure. Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Mr. Walter.
Aye.
Ms. Urbana. Aye. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiovanni.
Abstain.
Thank you. Mr. First.
Aye.
Mr. Wild.
Aye.
And Chairwoman Gotcha.
Aye. We can start our hearing for AT&T.
Got the technological issue aside, so we're good to go. Thank you very much. Good evening, John Chowski, February Drinker. I'm here on behalf of AT&T. I'm sure you're familiar with the AT&T site that we're discussing tonight. It's 1405, 1455, 206, Block 41, Lot 16.02. It's in the OR Office Research Zone. We're here to seek an approval to upgrade site lighting to better illuminate the parking areas at the AT&T office complex, to provide more uniform lighting in the parking area with more efficient LED lighting fixtures, and to allow us to avoid operational safety concerns that that some of the employees have expressed due to lower lighting levels with the older lighting bulbs that are in the facility, in the existing fixtures, and then we're going to add some lighting poles as our expert will testify to in a few minutes. We are, to just give you an overall summary before we begin, we're upgrading 46 existing lighting fixtures, again with LED lighting. We're also installing 11 new 12-foot poles with the same LED fixtures. In relationship to adding these additional poles, we're taking away some pervious coverage. So we're reducing that to the poles by roughly 78 square feet. However, we're offsetting that by a reduction in a walkway that we'll show you in a minute, which picks up about 100 square feet. So the net is that we're actually decreasing coverage by 22 square feet. There are no variances needed for this application. We did receive one review letter from Mr. Fierro dated February 3, 2026. We can comply with that review letter subject to one discussion we'll have with regard to what the new setup will be with the timing of this lighting, as you'll hear in a few minutes. I do have one witness that will be testifying this evening, Imran Malik with Carbon Engineering Services, who's an expert in electrical engineering and lighting. So unless there's any initial questions, I'll have my witness sworn in and qualified.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Malik, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
And please state your name, spell your last name, and give us at least a business address.
Imran Malik, M-A-L-I-K. Business address is 344 Reddington Center Parkway in Edison, New Jersey, 08837.
And please go ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Imran, will you give the board the benefit of your qualifications, please?
Sure. I'm an electrical engineer. My educational background is that I have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from NYU and Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical from Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, New Jersey.
And can you just give us some additional background on what experience you have from an electrical engineering and lighting standpoint?
Sure. I've been working as a design consultant for over 25 years now, specialized in all commercial applications, including data center, office fit outs, and we do power and lighting system design for all sorts of commercial applications. And we have clients all over the US that we work for.
The board will recognize and accept Mr. Malik's qualifications as an expert in lighting and electrical engineering. Please go ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Imran, will you please bring up the first exhibit, Exhibit A1?
And can you guys do me a favor and talk a little bit more into the mic? Just to,
Absolutely.
Sure.
thank you. You can pull it closer, whatever. Thanks.
Can everyone see my screen? Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is the aerial view of the site. Block 41, lot 1602. It's an office complex that's leased by AT&T. It's an office space for them, which it comprises of two buildings, north and south, and then it has a parking lot spaces around the two buildings.
Just for some record keeping, is this one of the sheets that was submitted with your application?
No, it was not.
No, it was not.
So then it should be marked as an exhibit, I think.
Well, we have it marked.
That'll be it. That'll be A1.
All right, Imran, you move on to Exhibit A2, which is our site lighting plan. This was submitted with our application.
Yeah, the only thing that changed here is we just highlighted the fixtures that we're adding as new, just so that it's more for clarity purposes. But this represents the overall site. Let me just zoom in so everyone can see it. So again, this is the north building, this is the south building, these are the parking lots around the two buildings. And we have existing light fixtures that are there, the pole light fixtures, but they were installed back in the 90s, and recently there has been some security and safety concerns raised by the employees just because there was an adequate light around the complex, like around the parking lot areas.
I'm sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
what were the safety concerns?
Just that there wasn't enough light. When they're like people are working, if someone's staying late at night at work and they're walking out, there wasn't enough light for them to get to the cars, and no specific security concern, but again, just there wasn't enough light for them to be walking to the cars. So AT&T engaged us to practically first come in and do a lighting test for the exterior lighting, for the site lighting. So we did that, and based on that study, we found that there were a few fixtures that were not working. There were some fixtures that wouldn't. I mean, there weren't enough light in certain areas, so which needed a new light fixtures. So we came in and basically we put the package together, designed it, showing the new light fixtures and replacing the existing light fixtures with the LED type. The existing ones were incandescent type, which are obviously it's not a very efficient technology. So going in, we replaced the existing fixtures with the LED type, which are way more efficient, and then we added some light fixtures just to address any dark spots that we had in the parking lot area. Just looking at the plan, the blocks that you see in the middle of the parking lot right here, these are the existing light fixtures. So the intent is that we're going to go in and just replace the existing heads with the LED type. And then along the perimeter where there were not adequate lighting in the space, we are adding these new light poles, which are going to, so 3 on this side, then 1 over here, then 1 closer to the building in the parking area. There's spots right here, and then same thing on the north side as you enter in through Route 206. As you're driving through this area, there isn't enough light also in these areas. So 1 light fixture here, 2 fixtures here, 2 in the back, and then 1 closer to the building by the parking spots there.
Just note
sorry.
the different heights too.
Oh, yeah, sure. So the existing light fixture that we have in the parking lot area, they vary in height. They're 12 foot or 15 foot, mostly are 15 foot. But the new pole that we're looking to add are going to be all 12 foot. And the intent is to match what's there. So the new poles are going to match existing. The new light fixture that we're selecting are, again, as I said, it's LED type. The temperature rating on those fixtures, the color temperature on these fixtures is going to be 3500 K, which my understanding is what the township requirement is. It meets the compliance. We submitted as part of the package, we did submit the photometric calculations showing the foot candle levels from this upgrade that we're doing. And the code requirement is to have the foot candle level range between 0.2 to 4 foot candles. And we are in compliance with that, with the average of 1 foot candle across the overall facility. And we're in compliance with that. I think the maximum range we have seen is it gets to about 3 foot candles. It doesn't even get to close to the maximum that's allowed by code, which is 4. But the average that we're maintaining on the site is per code, which is 1 foot candle. Let me just see. Also, the new light fixture that we're adding along the perimeter, just because obviously that's right at the like very close to the property line. And again, the property line, the closest residence that we have is about 270 feet from where we're looking to add these fixtures. So it's quite far. But the idea, the fixtures that we're specifying are going to have an internal shield, which is basically going to protect or prevent any spillover to behind the fixture. So you're really not going to see any light on the backside of the fixture. So the light source from a distance, you're not really going to see that.
Including neighboring properties, correct?
Including neighboring properties, correct. I mean, and the photometrics that we submitted do show that like by the time you get to the property line, the foot candle levels are 0. So there is nothing that goes to even to the property line, and the residences are even further than that. The other thing was the controls on these light fixtures. The existing lighting controls that we have in the building, or at least for the existing light fixtures, it's controlled through a time clock. So it's on a time schedule, basically turning the lights on at dusk, and then they turn off at dawn. We're not really changing the criteria in terms of how the fixtures are controlled, but what we are adding a feature of motion sensors onto these fixtures. So what that's going to do is, and I mean, with that, the dimming capability to these fixtures, what that does is, now if there is no activity, once the light fixtures turn on and there is no activity around those fixtures, the fixtures are going to dim to 50% of their whatever their overall capacity is. And if there is an activity detected, they come back online for the full luminance, and then they go down to 50% after 20 minutes interval, like once there is no activity. So that's an added feature that we added to these fixtures. So it's definitely more efficient, and obviously during if there is no activity, I mean the light levels even go further down.
And can you identify for the board the lights that, because we have two separate sets, right? We have a set that's going to dim to 50%. So they'll be on from dusk to dawn, and then they'll dim to 50% subject to the motion sensor, correct?
Yes, all the fixtures except for so let me just zoom in so you can. So all the fixtures except for the ones that are coming in as you enter into the facility, the entryway, and then where the handicap parking is and the access drive, those are the fixtures that are going to be on photo cells. So they're going to be on all the time when there is no light. Because for life safety reasons, but every other fixture in the it's going to be motion sensor controlled, and the integral shielding that I mentioned is going to be only on the perimeter fixtures that are towards the property line. Let me see.
And just so we're clear too, so those other lights that are on the sensor, they will go on at dusk, they will turn off at dawn. They will be, when the motion sensor is triggered, they'll be at 100%.
That is correct.
After 15 minutes, they would, if there's
they
no
will
motion,
go down to.
they drop down to 50%.
That is correct.
Okay. And we'll be complying with requirements that a night light test be performed after lighting installation, correct?
That is the intent. We'll do a night light test similar to what we did before. We actually get the design for this project, so it will be similar, and the results will be submitted to the township engineer for review and approval.
And at this point, can you show exhibit A3, please?
Yes.
The photos of all the existing lights, just so the board can see why we're upgrading the pole.
So as you can, let me just show that. So this represents the single head poles, and these are the dual head poles that we have on the facility. And you could look at some of the conditions on the poles as well. So in these instances, we're also replacing the poles, but that's just replacing the poles for those light fixtures. We're not changing the height. We're not changing anything else. Just replacing or repairing the poles as needed to make sure that it's not corroded or not it's not dangerous because of the electricity. Yep, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, and can you show exhibit A4 and address with the board the coverage?
Yeah.
Change.
So again, with the addition of the new pole light fixtures, we are increasing the impervious coverage by about because it's 11 poles, so it's about 78 square foot. So there was an existing walkway on the north side. So if you look at the exhibit A1, I mean, this is the condition of the walkway. As you can see, it needs repair. Just to get you in, from going back to A1 real quick to get you an idea where that is. It's right here on the back side of the north building, leading from the parking area, going back to the library that's in the back. So AT&T is we're going to be looking to repair that walkway, and then basically eliminate or reduce the asphalt for a 200-foot stretch by 6 inches. So it's going to reduce the overall width of the walkway by about 6 inches, which gives us impervious coverage by about, reduces it by 100 foot. So the net reduction is going to be about 22 square foot.
And the current width of the walkway is 6 feet.
It's 6 foot 6 inches, correct. So it's going to be 6 foot going forward for that 2 foot stretch,
200.
200 foot stretch, sorry. And then based on the comments that we received from the township engineer, we also added the details for the light fixtures, which includes the base, which is going to be a concrete base, similar to what's there. Match that, and then the mounting height, the mounting details for the light fixtures, and also the fixture detail itself, showing the internal shield that's going to be on those fixtures.
And we'll just mark that 8.5.
We submitted that.
That was submitted with
Yeah.
the permit back, yes.
And then I think we'll just conclude by going through addressing a couple of the engineering comments. There was a comment regarding compliance with prior approval condition regarding the occupancy of the building. Just one clarification on that. The prior condition was that from between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., so it will be less than 50% of the number of employees occupying the building between those hours, between the 50% of the employees that occupy the building between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. So it'll reduce down the overnight hours by 50%. The one clarification was, I think the engineering review letter said 8 p.m. The condition was 9 p.m., but just wanted to clarify that and note that we will comply.
Excuse me. Can you just repeat that a little bit slower? Go over it from the beginning, because you're talking into the papers and I didn't get it.
Sure. So there was a prior condition that between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., the amount of employees in the building will be reduced down to no more than 50% of the number that occupies the building during the day, that being 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's a prior condition. We will continue to comply with that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And then there was another comment regarding internal lighting. Can you address that, our compliance with that?
Yeah, so the internal lighting, we have the shades on the windows, which usually go down by 6 p.m. And then the internal lighting shuts off by 8 p.m. Just the lighting, if there's an override in place, if someone's working, they can turn on the lights for their office space, for their office or the corridors as needed. But the lights typically, they were shut down by 8 p.m. and that's in place. That's not changing. That's how it is right now.
And with regard to this project, all building and fire codes will comply with
That is correct. So no, we will comply. That with respect to all the projects, that's the intent. We always comply with whatever the building regulations are and the fire and building codes are.
Okay, that's it for our presentation. We'll open up to any questions.
Madam Chair, if I could, I want to make sure I have it in my head
Okay.
exactly what is being proposed for the lighting. And I'll say it, you tell me where I'm right and I'm wrong. You've got the security lighting that comes in from the driveway and goes around the loop. That is photo cell controlled.
That's correct.
So it's dusk till dawn. It will be on.
That is correct.
Do those have the motion sensors to cut them down to 50%?
They don't. No.
Okay.
We specified all the fixtures with them. If we had to use them, we could, but right now the intent is not to use the motion sensors on those fixtures.
Okay.
Those are going to be for life safety.
Okay. And the rest of the lights are time clock shut off at 11 p.m. Correct?
That is correct.
But they'll have the motion sensors, so if there's nobody in the area before 11 p.m., they'll be down to 50%.
That is correct. The fixtures will, again, the time clock basically just is a function of the function of the time clock is to turn the lights on and off, right? So the lights will be turned on as per the schedule, which is whatever the schedule is, 6 p.m. The lights will go back to, as soon as they turn on, if there is no activity, they will dim down to 50%. They don't shut down they don't completely shut down, if that's what you're asking.
They don't completely shut down, but except at 11 o'clock, then they completely shut down.
No, they don't, because right now the existing fixtures don't shut down. They will just go down to 50% as soon as there is no activity in the parking area. The time clock doesn't, it's not on a schedule where it shuts down at 11. The time clock leaves the light fixtures on. It's just that we have dimming that brings it down to 50%.
Then I'm starting to be confused.
Okay.
And I think this is a significant, the way I understood it was you had a hard shut off at 11 o'clock. The parking lot lights would shut off.
I can clarify. This is what we're proposing. I understand there's some confusion. The proposal is that the lights around the center entryway,
Right.
you said, are on photo cell. So they will be on 100% during
Right.
the overnight hours.
And that's not,
Can you
it's
just
not,
go back to the,
Sure.
the screen that shows the entire site, so we're
Yep.
all clear on what's turning on, when, and what's dimming, and what's not dimming?
So these fixtures, if you look at the plan, this is the entryway into the facility. So you see these notes where it says photocell control. The fixtures into the entryway going over to the handicap parking area and then the access drive, they're all on photocell. So they will turn on and off through the photocell.
So
Okay.
those will be on dusk
Dusk till dawn.
at
Just to done
100%.
at
at
100%.
100%.
All the other lights are going to be on a timer, which will essentially be dusk to dawn as well, where they will be set to 100% subject to the motion sensor, so that after 15 minutes, if there's no motion, they dim down to 50%.
I gotta tell you that that's a problem. I understood this, the way I read the notes on the plan, that there would be a hard shut off of all the parking lot lights except that security lighting in the front at 11 o'clock. Before 11 o'clock, they would go to 50%. Because if that's what you're telling me, there is no purpose to the time clock. The time clock has no value.
Well, except that it's basically, it shuts off the light at dawn, right? I mean, that's all it's doing.
Then you use a photocell.
Well, I think
I-
there's two important things I would like to see us state. One is that currently all of these lights are on at 100% during that time, overnight hours.
They're not supposed to be.
Okay.
Because the original approval had a phased lighting plan where various lights in the parking lot will be shut off completely at different times. They're not supposed to be on all night. If they're on all night, you're violating the prior approval. Okay? There was a phased lighting plan that was originally approved where the outermost parking would shut down at a certain time. And I think there were 3 sections of the lighting. That's the way it was supposed to work. That's what was approved. So what you're doing now is you're keeping all the lights on, even at 50%, you're keeping them on all night. That's not the way it's supposed to work. And if you've only got 50% occupancy of the building after 9 o'clock, it wouldn't seem to me that you would need the entire parking lot lit up all night long.
Imran, what is the lowest level that we could bring them down to? Is there a level below 50%?
There definitely is.
But 0 is less than 50%. Why do they have to be on?
I would suggest the reason that I hear what you're saying. In a perfect world, the employees staying, let's say there's only 20 employees that stay in the overnight hours, so it's a small amount. Well, why aren't they parked just close to the building where the lighting is, right? I think the issue is that they might come in during the day, you walk out to your car at night and that lights are out. So, I think that is there a half measure of where them being on all night would be acceptable if we could reduce them down to
Maybe 10%.
I mean, ultimately, it's a decision by the board, but I think it's a departure from what was, a substantial departure from what was originally approved. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, just a question. When that was approved, did this building and property have overnight employees already?
Well, it was unknown. The approval was done before the building was leased.
I would also
Because
say
that's
that's
be the concern, if the employees are going in and out, if there wasn't a way to bring the light on, it defeats I can see it if the building beforehand maybe had no employees that night and everything shut down, and there was no employees, it made sense to shut the lights off. But
Right, well,
employees at night, then maybe that's a big.
There's one other key thing I want to point out, and Imran said it before, even at 100%, we're at 0 foot candles to the property line. And with the shielding, the neighboring properties looking straight in would not see.
Not see the lights.
and it's not necessarily, all light impacts are not full candle levels. Okay, there's a glow of the site, and that's what's there. And, you know, the intent of the original approval was reduce the area of that glow as the night went on. Now, I'm saying a lot of things because I want the board to understand what was approved, but the board's ultimately going to make this decision. So, you know, maybe I'll stop talking for a moment and let the board express their opinions.
Are there people in this building around the clock at all times?
It's an AT&T facility, so yeah, there is people mostly there, yeah.
And was that the case when the prior approval was made?
No.
Nobody was there at all.
Well, I think.
Well, when the prior approval was done, there was no tent.
Right, okay.
There was, but the prior approval originally said you could only have 20% of the building occupied after 9 o'clock.
Right.
It was originally 20%.
Yes.
And then it was changed to 50% because I think it was recognized that there would be more people over there at later hours.
Would it be possible to do, and this is just, you know, and if I'm, you know, stepping out of line, you know, to have like lights come on when there's motion and then they go off completely when the motion is no longer there after a period of time. Like,
So, which is what they're proposing, but here's
but completely off.
here's my
Yeah.
concern if we're dimming down to 10% or 5%. We live in the woods.
Right.
Right, and so it's not, motion sensors don't just pick up people walking their cars. You're gonna get
Yeah, no,
animals
that's
and
true.
deer and so the
So
lights
they'll
are
be coming on
literally
and
gonna
off
be
all
going
night.
on and off all night.
And that's why I didn't have a major concern between 50% and 100% because it's different, but between 100% and 0 or 100% and 10%, it's more of a.
I'd almost, if we're gonna be okay with them being on all night, I'd rather them be at 50% than 10%.
Why? Why do that?
Because the change is less.
Because the change
It's
is
more annoying.
is more annoying. Now they're flashing on and off as opposed to just sort of.
The thing that I don't understand is that we're talking about security. That's the reason they're here. So if you're talking about security and someone comes into work, because I go by there, people are there fairly early in the morning. And if somebody comes into work at 8:45, which I think is relatively late for that building, and they park all the way in the corner, and they're going to work till 10:30, you really don't want them walking all the way to the corner, regardless of how much light there is. So one would think that if people are going to work past a certain hour, I think most of the people leave at 5 or 6, anybody's going to work past 8, you want to have them move, if they're concerned about security, you want to have them move their cars to a certain security area. Anyway, regardless of the lighting.
I certainly understand your comment. I know from, just anecdotally from my own experience, working long hours, there's been plenty of times where they haven't changed the timer, and I walk out there and the lights on all over the complex, and I'm parked where I'm parked, right? You get locked into your day, next thing you know,
Right.
the sun's down, and you haven't moved your car. So, and I know that, you know, the employees haven't said like, listen, there was an incident or something, but they were really scared of. But I think, you know, we've all experienced it when you walk into a pitch black parking lot, it's, you know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I would think that the people, and maybe most people who are concerned about security, not everybody is, but whoever they are, they would want to move their cars anyway, regardless of how much light there is.
So I just want to come back to sort of the prior approvals regarding the building and the property. So this goes back to, at least my recollection, Pfizer, Dendrite, Mallinckrodt, vacant AT&T. So Paul, when you say the prior approval, which approval are you referring to?
The original site plan approval for the Samus Finance Center. which
So
is,
SFC, yeah,
ancient history.
right.
You know,
I can
that,
tell you the 20%, that was set by a resolution adopted in 1986.
yeah, that was the original
Yeah.
SAMUS approval, I believe, was in 86.
And then in 1998, that's when it was, subsequent approval was put in place that allowed us to go up to 50%.
And even at that time, this was pre-AT&T.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Way.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I very much doubt that, well, who knows? Dendrite and Melancrot, they may not have been 24/7, but it is my understanding that the facility, to some extent, is 24/7.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it-
And do we have testimony to that effect, or?
Correct.
What if the people that work late hours had specific parking?
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe assign it
so
somehow.
they have
yeah.
assigned parking, so
I think
that,
that's what Steve and Jeff were both sort of alluding to
yeah,
earlier.
so that, they park there and the lighting would be appropriate for those specific people that
That are
work
working during
late.
that time period, yeah.
Well,
That's gonna be so
functionally, it would
difficult.
do
That's,
that,
Right.
right? Because
you're not
if
gonna
there's no one outside, they're gonna dim down to 50%.
Mhm.
They're only gonna come back up to full strength
So,
when somebody's walking through the parking lot.
mhm.
In the winter months, there's really no difference between 5:30 and 10:30 at night. It's
That's
dark
true,
as dark.
oh, that's
Right.
true,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
So I think,
Mhm.
yeah.
And so-
So 7 o'clock. in the
so
morning.
currently, the lights are on,
Yes.
full blast,
That's correct.
and you would like to bring them down to 50%.
That's
if
right.
No one's walking around.
That is correct.
But keep in mind, 100% is not compliant.
It's not compliant. Okay, I got you. Now, I'm gonna have to ask.
Oh, wait. It's not compliant with a condition of a prior resolution.
Correct.
So
We're not talking about an ordinance. We're talking about a condition of a prior resolution, and it was a different applicant and different operation. So it's really the board's call tonight, and we're not bound by a condition. We're being asked to modify a condition. So that's why it's important to just get a sense of what the facts are, what the needs of AT&T are, and what the impact is if it really is 24/7.
Tom, Tom, you agree that this is not a variance?
This is not a variance. This is not, it's not even a waiver. It's a condition of a prior approval, two conditions of two prior approvals. It's the board's call, and the explanation of the applicant is that AT&T, unlike prior applicants, is a 24/7 for some of the employees. And the offer to have all the lights reduce, except the security ones, reduced to 50% with the motion detection exception is what's on the table. Okay, and it's an interesting option, and there might be other options built into this technology that and conditions that might be considered. But the applicant's asking you to do this, allow this change to the prior conditions.
The only point I would make, Tom, and I'm looking up right now, I believe the ordinance has a requirement that that the lighting be shut off at 11 o'clock for all uses.
Well, I will say that just to clarify, that requirement is, there's an exception for needs for security in that.
Yeah, I understood the security lighting, but the entire site is not security lighting, or every site could be on all the time. The concept of security lighting is just as you have it here, the access area up around the front to be able to get in and out and keep that illuminated.
Yeah, I guess the way we read it was, the security concerns of having adequate lighting. So that's why we were offering to drop it down to 50%, but have it go up to 100% when someone was walking through. So that's why we read it that we were in compliance with that provision.
It's never been done that way by this board.
Do we have other 24-hour operations in town?
Is Kings on all the time? I feel like it is every time I try to find it.
Hey, I don't know what everything is at this point, but I can tell you what
It's not supposed to.
what the ordinance says. Yeah, it says
Some of those
illumination for
Tesla
non-residential uses shall be extinguished at 11 PM or the end of the business day, whichever is earlier, except for eating and drinking establishments.
So what was that again? From
Non-residential uses shall be extinguished at 11 PM or the end of the business day, whichever is early, except for eating and drinking establishments.
Yeah.
That's the ordinance.
And it's except for minimum security.
It says, it starts out by saying, except for minimum security.
That's quite swallow.
All right, I'd like to ask some other questions though. So there are currently 46 light poles, lights there.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, 46, 47?
46,
46. And you want to add an additional 11.
that is correct.
And you will be replacing all of the heads, not all the poles, but all the heads.
That is
With
correct.
the new LED.
That is correct.
And the light output of them is going to be similar, exact as what's there now, or is it going to be less, or
I believe it's going to be less.
at 100%?
Based on the study that we did of the foot candle levels that we're coming up with, it's less than what was there before.
It may be a little less, okay.
Correct.
You're going to do a test on that, make sure. And part of your proposal here is to knock those down to 50%
Which is even less
at
than.
nighttime, except
That
the
is
motion sensor. Now, the motion sensor, how does that work? So if it's off and you walk by and it goes on, does it
Correct.
stay on for a certain amount of time?
It does.
Or is it going to be popping on and off and on?
No, it stays on for 15
So
minutes, 15 to 20
So
minutes.
somebody else comes, it's not off and on and off
No,
and on.
no, it stays on for 15, 20 minutes. It's programmable.
Okay,
So you can adjust the time delay. Typically it's 20 minutes.
okay.
And then it stays on for 20 minutes. And then if there is no activity, it shuts off.
And that's probably good, because as people are leaving, you probably have another one. We don't want to have it like pop, 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 and strobe effect.
Agreed. Yes.
Some- you know,
That is the
we
case.
don't want to have a warning like, there are strobe lights in this movie kind of thing.
No, you're right.
Okay, all right. So all the heads are going to be replaced. All of the lamp poles then, you said you may or may not replace all the lamp poles?
The poles themselves, just because you saw in one of the pictures, it was corroded, right?
Yeah.
So any issues like that, we're replacing the poles, but
Well,
it's
what
not
about
all the
ones
poles.
that are 15 feet. If that pole's fine, it's 15 feet, are you going to replace it? Because all the new ones are going to be 12 feet, correct?
Well, the new ones that we're adding are 12 feet, but if there's an existing pole that we're replacing, we're gonna replace with the same height that it was before. If it's a 15-foot pole, then we're gonna replace it with the 15-foot pole,
Why would you do that?
because that's what, it matches the other poles in the area. I mean, some of the other poles,
You're going to leave the 15-foot poles if they're 15.
if they're 15,
Next to it, if you need to replace, you can replace it with a 12-foot.
the new ones that we're adding,
Okay.
those are the only ones gonna be 12-foot.
It'll be 12-foot.
Yes,
Just to clarify that point, on the perimeter of the north and south side, that's where the new 12-foot poles are going. In the interior, there's some 15-foot poles that might need to be replaced, but they don't want to put a 12-foot pole there because then you'll have 15-foot, 12-foot, 15-foot.
Yeah, that's-
Uniform.
it doesn't provide the uniform distribution from the light fixtures.
Now, what about the color of the lamp now? Is it going to be similar? I know LEDs are usually 5,000 K. Is it going to be the same warmth?
It's very close to the incandescents. Incandescents are anywhere between 2,800 to 3,000
So
K.
that's more of a nice,
It's a little warm. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a neutral white, I would say.
Hmm.
It's a neutral white. Like it's between the warm and the cool blue.
so
Like
what would you give? Maybe like a 3,000?
It's 3,500.
3,500. 3,500 is what we're going with.
More than 3,500.
Okay.
That'd be-
So it's not going to be like, someone out there playing
No,
sports. Okay. Okay.
yes,
So I think then you feel that having them on all night long, which they are now, even though it's not supposed to be, at 50%. How much, when you say 50%, I mean, is it considerable? Like if I had just a regular bulb at 100, knocked it down to 50, does it really look like 50 or does it really make it darker to the
Does
eye?
it drop the foot candles by half?
it almost does, yes.
Yeah, okay. And it still has these new heads, are they gonna have the same spread?
Same spread,
Same
yes.
everything.
Same spread, yes.
Okay.
I have a question for Paul. Paul, the ordinance says, regardless of what the condition was that was approved, the ordinance says 11 PM. They're asking now for something, a change in the condition, which is well beyond 11 PM, all the way overnight. Does that require variance?
It's a design waiver because it's a design waiver section of the ordinance, and just to be, completely clear on it, it does, I'll read the entire sentence, okay? It says,
Paul, sorry, which ordinance are you referring to?
this is,
Lighting, coming up with a lot of residential stuff.
this is 13504.1C.
Okay.
And it's the last paragraph of that. It says, except for minimum security lighting, illumination for non-residential uses shall be extinguished at 11 p.m. or the end of the business day, whichever is earlier, except for eating and drinking establishments where the same will be extinguished at the time the establishment is closed. Now, I think that the question here is, when I'm hearing, it's the applicant's position that all the lights on the property are security lighting.
Basically.
That's the position they're taking. This board has never looked at all the lights on a property as being security lighting. Now, they can make their points or whatever, but that's I think the nuance we have here.
Could you turn off the perimeter ones? The perimeter ones, what are they for? Because I know you have your inner parking lot. The ones you're adding for perimeter, were they added just for driving in that area?
No,
or is it for walking to the car?
Those are also for the parking. If you
But
look
for
at,
really walking to your car, if it's all the way on the perimeter, it's not within the parking spaces.
yeah, because there is no light. I mean, when we did the lighting study, there was practically no light in those areas. So we ended, I mean, again, we just wanted
Was
to
that
make
a
sure.
problem though?
Somebody's parked.
Yeah.
Somebody parked there.
Yeah, someone's parked in
Well, but these new lights are going along on the outside of the parking lot, right?
Well, some of the spaces are on the edge, Tim.
They're at the edge of the parking, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So I just wanted
Especially
to
on the
switch the
quickest
conversation just a bit. So where the new poles are going in, that's grassed landscaped area?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have an existing conditions diagram? And just, it was hard to tell from the plans which area was grass that the new poles were going in.
It's the grass area. I don't really have an existing condition picture or a drawing, but if you if you look at this, this is where the asphalt for the parking is, and the pole structure, the base is going to be right behind that in the grass area.
Okay. This could be like a tube, just a cement.
It's like a cement. Yes, yeah, exactly. It's a I think it's a 6 inches diameter, actually maybe more than 6 inches.
Has the township ever received complaints about the lighting at this location? Do we know?
So the complaints that I have heard have not to do with the lighting in the parking lot. They actually have to do with the lights from the windows of the office building, which are supposed to be, the shades are supposed to be drawn at night. And they used to, my understanding is that there used to be some personnel that would go around and literally close the shades at the end of the business day. And some of the lights, some of those shades are being left open. And that's the complaints that I've heard about. That's not from the parking lot, but from actually the building.
Because they're much higher than the lights themselves.
Yeah.
And they're visible from Lucas Brook.
Are they still, is it still a manual operation or is this a motor?
My guess is he doesn't know.
Well, for the interior, all I know is that it's on time clock also, and it's basically shuts off. But the thing is, there is an override in place for the offices. But I'll bring it up to AT&T to make sure that it's enforced.
Right, well, you're talking about the lighting inside the actual offices, but I think the question was regarding the shades being drawn. We can certainly report this issue back to AT&T and ask that they, do their very best to make sure that that's being compliant.
And this is on the residential side or just all around?
It's on the residential side is where those shades are.
The faces.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been receiving? You said you received some complaints?
Yes, I've received complaints both ways. Complaints that the shades weren't shut, but it's been quite some time. But I also got complaints from some of the tenants in the building that the parking lot lighting is not adequate. So I just want to say that's, this is an issue,
Oh, okay.
but I just want to make sure that we solve it completely.
But have you heard complaints about the 206 Lamington Road complaint, the visibility of the overnight lights from 206 or Lamington Road or Clucas Brook for that matter?
No, I haven't heard, I have not had complaints about the site lighting,
Okay.
other than what he said about it not being enough for the people in the building.
Right, so it's the other way. It's
Yeah.
in favor of having the overnight lights.
Listen, I think 50% is adequate. That's my feeling, but, you know.
Anybody else? Anybody else have any
Well,
questions? Go ahead, Steve.
Sort of, I mean, we raised the issue of having a dedicated area, and we didn't get any response to that, I don't think.
You know, it's something that I would have to talk to AT&T about. I just know that practically thinking this through, the operation is, you know, people showing up to work at certain hours and you don't know when you're going to leave, and you might be locked into a busy day. And so it still doesn't solve the solution of, oops, I forgot to move my car because I was busy on calls all day. And now they're still facing the same scenario. So, I mean, even if AT&T, and I have to talk with those folks, if they were to say, okay, we could do something in that regard, I still think we would have this issue where some, you know, a handful or more employees come in, even if it's at, you know, they say their shift or their hours are later in the day, but they come in when the sun's up and then they forget to move their car, and now they're walking out there and it's pitch black, and they're going to have the same complaint, you know, which is why we're here tonight.
Well, it's not just a question of moving the car, but giving them specific places to park.
Yeah, if they know they're gonna.
I think that's problematic.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to manage.
Yeah, they'd have to manage that, but that's just, I think that's where they're going with that.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a business in itself.
And I know that, I don't believe they even have like firm shifts, right? It's an office, so there might be certain people that work shifts, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that it's, you know, they start their day later for whatever reason, and they're there later. I know that happens at our office. So I think it's very hard to nail down, oh, these specific employees come in at this time and are going to leave at that time. So let's work something out of where they're going to park.
A lot of them are salaried, do have to do a job, whatever it takes, type of a thing.
Well,
Yeah.
from what little I know of the operations there are some security elements because it's a major telecommunications and there's some backup issues in there. There is an overnight crew
Yeah.
that's working on telecommunications stuff, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would imagine it could be an effort to police and, you know, get the parking and reserve the parking and from a practical measure, return to our office building landlord.
Yeah, from a practical, it would be a very hard thing
To manage.
to come up with a plan and then manage it, because quite frankly, you don't know necessarily who's gonna be there.
Right.
Yeah, and Steve gets preferential parking at Lowenstein. They the associates never work past 10 o'clock.
It says for old people only. Well,
Seniors.
Not gonna touch that.
Medicare.
no, I must say though, you know, we're put in a bit of a disadvantage because there's no one here from AT&T, which is, I would say, relatively unusual. You know, we're forced to speculate on your behalf, which.
If there's any questions that you want answered, I mean, there is a representative of AT&T that was on. I don't know if she's still on, but I have her cell phone. I could give her a ring and
I'm only making a comment. I mean, I'm sure whatever the majority is, I'll go along with, but it just seems to me that if we're troubled that we're asked to do something contrary to what the ordinance is, and we're concerned about security, so we ought to be able to address the security issue, which is the issue, in the context of the lighting, as opposed to speculating on security.
I'm not that troubled, like, with, sort of know how office buildings operate, and people come and go and they park where they can for whatever reason, and.
Well, and then based on the fact that we haven't had many complaints about the parking lighting. It's coming, the light, complaining about lighting.
And the parking complaints have been that it's not enough.
Right.
Right.
Well, right, exactly, about the being too much. I mean, if it's the building they're complaining about, that's a different issue.
I'd like
you
a
know?
reminder with,
Agreed.
right, to the extent that we're interested in approving it, I'd like a reminder that they should be drawing the shades at night.
Yeah, that's.
Which is a separate thing altogether.
And trying-
Especially on the
and doing
residential
their best to comply with that requirement. But
And
So,
everything is right
I
by
mean,
everything.
and just as a procedural order, so the engineer's testimony, we've asked, you may present someone from AT&T, just to address some of the questions that Steve had asked earlier.
Well, I was saying is if there's anything I can answer, I could go into the hallway and call and find out more information, but I don't even know, I don't know that, I think Don's still on. I mean, if you'd like to hear from her, I could.
Well, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, you have public comment for the engineer.
I still have a question.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so my question again is for Paul. I don't want to put you on the spot, Paul, but between no lighting, 10% lighting, and 50% lighting, as our engineer, where would you fall on that decision tree?
Do you walk to school or carry your lunch? I don't understand the question. Because what do I think is the appropriate security
That's probably the
design
best.
for the site?
Yeah, that's the best way to explain it.
I don't know. I haven't thought that out. That's not my job, frankly.
Okay.
That's his job.
I've designed plenty of sites where there's been security lighting, and I don't think I've designed any site where all the light was considered security lighting.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Anybody else have any questions?
Carol?
Is there,
Oh, Brian, go ahead.
in just trying to keep in line with the ordinance, or at least the intent of it, the spirit behind it, is there some consideration maybe that can be given? Because there's definitely a difference between a property that operates 24/7 versus a business or a property that doesn't have employees at night. And this obviously should absolutely be followed, understood completely, for a property doesn't have something that's open night. It closes at a point, like Paul said, it closed, light shut off, the whole bit. Is that something that it could just be built into a consideration that if this was to be considered for this, that we don't open up for all these other properties that just say, well, they're allowed to do it, and.
No, that never happens.
So
Yeah, it's a one-off.
these are all our decisions are one-off
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
There's no precedent.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about
Specific to
that.
this
Yeah.
piece of
Because I
property.
can meet with property that meets this guideline, obviously we have plenty of them that shut down, that's following the intent with this, but obviously a business that's closed, no, I don't want them coming back and saying, well, we want our lights on all night. That's not the intent or the spirit of this, versus again, if we're considering people going, employees going to their cars, having safety, things like that.
So in that vein, when, Paul, since you go all the way back,
I was not here when this site was approved. I was here when it was built, but not when it was approved.
I was going to go to the earlier AT&T campus, and you've certainly got the security gate, got the long drive in, they were, I believe they were, well, certainly with the GNOC, they were 24/7.
You don't have to go that far back. You can go to the Verizon building right now. They have portions of the site that are lit all night. Because they have
How much
people
of the
that are-
site is lit all
Because there
night?
are people.
That I don't know.
Or how much lighting they have all night.
Yeah,
Because there are houses right around that.
There are houses behind there,
Yeah.
Right.
but there are requirements in that approval that they had to put a solid fence along that property line, and recently got a complaint that part of it was knocked down. So they've got to put the fence back up.
And just, was the fence because of spillover light?
Light and noise.
So if the testimony is that there's no spillover based upon this lighting plan, is that concern already subsumed into what's been proposed.
I have zero concern about spillover.
Okay. So you're just talking about the glow?
The glow.
The glow. Okay. All right. So we're asking poll questions, but
Yeah,
but
right.
it's the public
The
may have
engineer,
questions of the
yeah.
engineer.
Okay, we will, I guess, anybody from the board, everybody? Okay, we will open it to the public and see, anybody online as well, can
There are people online.
anybody have a question?
So if you're online again, you can either raise your hand, unmute yourself, or if you're in the audience, you can come up to the podium. You will have to be, you'll have to give us your name. Tom swears you in, so make sure that you do that. But again, if you have a question.
Jim in the back has.
Yeah.
has his
You
hand.
want to come up?
Yeah.
Please.
The online people first.
Yep, come on. Give us your name and address.
Sure.
And,
So good evening, folks. My name is James Statmuller, Stadtmuller, 2300 Lamington Road, Bedminster.
James, hold on one second, please. Please raise your right hand?
Sure,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. I didn't have any remarks prepared, but listening to all the stuff that's gone on here tonight, I'll feel compelled to say a couple of things. So number one, my occupation of 2300 Lamington Road predates you guys. And I can say that, yeah, there is a definite glow there. I don't know what percentage of that relates to the outside lights, what percentage of that relates to the inside lights, but I can tell you for a fact that those inside lights are on at all hours of day or night. And so I think one of the things that has to happen here is that you can get electronic slides that drop those blinds electronically every night. You don't have to worry about someone coming in there and turning them on or off or pulling them up or down. So I think having electronic blinds that drop down at night is a critical component. And then I'm curious to know how many people are working there. I know there's not shift work, okay? So there's not like a second shift or third shift, but I'm in a profession where people have to hump to get projects done and meet deadlines. So I know there are nights where you're there at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's incredibly rare that you're there past 11. And to be there at 2 in the morning is maybe 1% of the workforce half the time. So how many people are working there at night?
I don't know the exact number, but I can definitely confirm
Yeah,
that.
I mean, is it 10? Is it 200? What's the
No, I don't
what's the
think,
building capacity?
I'm not sure either on that.
So are we talking about
we can
five-
confirm all
are we
this
talking about 5 per 10 people? You know, I'm all flashlight. I think that's an
Fair
important
point.
piece to know.
I mean, again, it's not a single building, it's two buildings, and it's, I'm sure it's more than 200 people. I'm not saying it's, but I can confirm the exact number of people. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that.
Again,
I
there is
have
a
a point
glow
of order.
to that
Counsel,
site. There is a
You think
glow
your
to that
witness
site.
is competent to answer these questions?
Well, he's competent to answer him. He's
I
explained
know,
it.
I mean, is he
Yeah.
competent, is he sufficient, does he have sufficient knowledge of his own knowledge to answer any of these questions about the way this company works?
Well, for AT&T, no,
Yeah, do
I'm
you-
not.
do you
I'm not.
know how- Have you done what background do you have on how this facility works?
Nothing really, because I don't really work in that building.
I think you're being put, I just repeat, I don't want to be malicious, but someone from AT&T really should be here. It's their application, they want something, we're happy to give it, but I think we're entitled to some answers.
Right, well, thank you, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Jim.
Is there anybody else you need online?
So online again, we do have a couple of people, I'm not sure who's part of the applicant or, you could just raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and then let us know that you have a question and Tom will swear you in. Jillian, did you have something that you wanted to say? Because you unmuted yourself, but we can't hear you.
No.
The technical issue. some issues with it the other night at the TEC meeting.
Know what they're trying to get through, Janine, do you know?
Jillian, did you have something to say? I can see you now. You want to raise your hand? Okay, should you have something to say? Can you try to speak so we can see if we can hear you? Yeah, I don't think your mic is turned on because we've been able to hear everybody else online. So if you want, just take a second and check your computer.
Or maybe type this is what, type a message.
No.
In the chat?
No, we have to, she has to be
You have to hear it.
audible. Yeah.
Okay.
We can send Brian over.
Jillian, do you have the ability to call in? Is that the same?
Speak.
Well, why don't you help her with her mic? Jillian, are you on a laptop or computer? Okay. Does your mic usually work? Sometimes there's a on Zoom. Sometimes there's a icon at the bottom of the screen. If you hit your cursor on the screen, you should see an icon for a microphone.
And you can do a test there?
Showed up this meeting.
Okay, is that better?
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Please raise your right hand, Jill. And do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And please state your name, spell your last name, and give us an address.
I'm Gillian Young, Young. I live at 1300 US Highway 206, Bedminster, 07921.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
I actually am probably in the only house that's on the 206 side, directly opposite from AT&T. And I'm looking out my window at the moment, and just about 75% of the windows have not had their shades pulled down at the AT&T building. All the lights are on, and I can certainly agree with my neighbor on Lamington Road that there is definitely a glow. So my concern is...
If I could just interrupt you, just for your information, that restriction was only on the Clucas Road side of the property, not the 206 side.
Okay. Well, a few years ago when the other company was there, Pfizer, apparently they told us that the shades would be down of a night so that we wouldn't see the disturbing bright lights. I'm assuming now, as other companies have taken over, that variance or promise was no longer valid. But according to the meeting tonight with the new lights going in, my concern is that it will be even brighter if they don't put the shades down and with 11 new lights.
Well, the level of the new lights would be less.
The new lights are not going to be facing the 206 though. It's going to be towards the back. It's behind the buildings.
Right. But looking at the map here, I can see some of them are going to be butting up against the piece of property on the 206 South. But I'm just making a point that it's bright enough as it is with the interior lights on, and then with an additional 11 lights out here. I think it's going to be awfully bright if they don't dim now at nighttime.
From the lighting perspective, the luminance levels are going to go down with the new fixtures that we're proposing. So it's not going to be same to what we currently have.
Okay.
So it's definitely going to go down. I'm not sure if how much. I mean, it's in comparison. I'm not sure how much it's actually going to down, but it's definitely better than what you currently have there.
Okay. All right. It was just a concern. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else, Janine?
Not sure. Let's just see. Does anyone else have anything they want to say? Again, you can unmute yourself. You can raise your hand. I only see a couple of people. I'm assuming. There's only one other person that I don't know, and they have not unmuted themselves or raised their hand. So, again, anyone else?
Okay, we'll close it to the public.
So I guess the question is whether or not the attorney wants to make a call and get someone from AT&T to answer.
I think it would be a good idea.
So if
I
you
mean,
wanna-
we need
can.
to know the
Do
operation.
you want to adjourn for
Yeah.
a couple seconds and?
I already attempted that. Oh, so I will not be able to provide that this evening.
Okay.
You can't reach it. Well, I think we need more information. I mean, unless,
Well, the proposal of the parking lot itself, personally, I'm okay with. I think the problem is the lighting of the building. That seems to be the
it
big
seems to
problem.
be
I
more of a
agree.
problem.
So are these the same issue or are these separate issues, Tom? I mean, are we going to say?
They're different issues. They're different issues.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean,
The-
I would agree
But
with.
the applicant is committed to comply with the Lucas Brook like window shade condition. They're not asking for relief from that. They are asking you for this.
That'd be an enforcement issue that.
Yeah, and it's something that can be met.
What I might suggest is that if Mr. Stadtmuller or any of his neighbors see the issue out there with the lights at the back of the building, that they contact the zoning officer. And from the AT&T side, we should have a contact that the zoning officer can reach out to handle that, because it's very hard to do the enforcement. So get us somebody that we can reach out to.
Absolutely.
But, you know, Tim, I agree with you, but I do recognize the issues raised, I think, most notably by Steve, is if we're going to say that this lighting plan is needed for the security, do we need testimony from AT&T to support the design waiver? That this is security.
If I could just make one point on that, and obviously you're going to do whatever you feel is best. From my perspective, if I had a representative from AT&T here, they're going to say the same thing that Mr. Ferrero has already told you, which is we have employees that have made complaints about their personal well-being, how they feel when they're walking out to their car at night. As far as the capacity of the building and the number of employees that are impacted by this that we cannot answer right now, I suspect whether they come in and they tell you it's 10 employees or 100 employees, the concern still would be the concern. And I'm sure that from our discussions preparing for this, I know that while I don't have a definite number, I know that it does fluctuate, right? So, we certainly could come back with a representative if that's what the board wants. But I think basically what I've just said is about what you're going to hear from that representative.
So the testimony that Paul Ferrero has given you, Steve.
I also think there's another perspective. I think that it's really important that the people at AT&T understand that the board and the township cares about it.
But the indoor lighting is.
No, I'm just saying that I'm done.
No, but are you talking about that it's important?
It's fine. Make your motion, it's fine.
I think it is important that it gets back to the representative of AT&T, as Steve has said, that there is an issue with the interior lighting and we need some kind of.
I think a
resolution.
contact
that would be
person
handy.
and.
I think certainly that condition can be reiterated, restated in this approval resolution. We're certainly going to advise them that, listen, if you don't comply with this, there could be enforcement action. And also, we have no problem finding out who the point person is for that building that the zoning officer could reach out to should this issue arise.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Brian, this is Tom now. Brian, Mr. Stadtmiller made a very good recommendation, and that was automatic shades. Can you commit to that for AT&T on those Lucas Brook facing windows?
That is something I have to go back to them with because that's quite an undertaking. I couldn't even.
I don't think it's that big an undertaking, Brian. So maybe that'll be a condition that you have to do no matter what.
Yeah,
I think you're not thinking about you're not aware of this importance of this, and because you didn't work on it. But if that truly isn't being fulfilled, that is a bad situation. Okay, so you got to cure it, and the cure is appropriate that it be automatic.
Or
I would
it has
suggest
to be
that-
done, manual or automatic. just
Right,
has
if
to-
Yeah, well, it has to be done, and it hasn't been done, and apparently this has been something of a known problem for a while. So this is not. It's not. It should be dealt with automatically, and it could be a condition.
I just don't know that, I'd have to speak to AT&T.
I understand, but what I'm getting at is we can make it a condition. If you really object, you can tell us about it, but I don't think you're going to really object. So.
Understood. I just would make the point that I don't know what the cost of that is. I could see a scenario where.
It doesn't sound that bad. So like.
I am not comfortable making that a condition.
No, yeah, I'm not
That's a
either.
huge expense
Yeah.
for 80,000 square feet. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
We had
but it's not an excuse. The fact that it costs money or that somebody has to do it manually is not an excuse to the violation. So.
I agree. I think we need to give them
No,
an
I agree.
opportunity.
And if
We need
they
say
choose to
something and
do
see what they
that.
do, yeah.
but
I just put window treats and minutes in my house. And I noticed that.
compliant, I'm not sure mandating that they put automatic window shades is a thing that I am comfortable with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And should it be more than, on the 206 side as well, with the blinds, so that it cuts down on the interior altogether?
But there's been a change to the corridor, obviously, since that Sandwich project was approved, because now on the other side of the street, it used to be only the Forbes building. Now you've got the advanced building behind that, you have the Fresh Pet, and then you've got the other advanced buildings that also have been approved. It's not the same as it was.
It's going to be even more.
True.
This is true.
And so it's a different character of the corridor.
Yeah, and it's on Route 206, and it's an OR zone on both sides of the road.
Right.
I recommend we stick with what we have, but just enforce what we have.
Enforce what we have.
Right. I guess I shouldn't have sidetracked.
Let's handle this and then go after the enforcement side.
I don't know either.
Yeah. I just like to make a comment. Tom said that what we're here for is the exterior lighting, and that's not part, the interior lighting is not part of it. But what happens is that the interior lighting and the exterior lighting combined adds to that glow of additional light. So if they could make some, correction on the interior lighting and maybe make sure those lights go off also. And I'm sure not every one of those offices are open.
Didn't you mention that they go off, aren't they on timers in interior?
I believe they're on time clock, but I need to confirm on that as well. I'm not sure.
Seems like they're not, it's not. going
Yeah,
on.
that's what it looks like. It's
Yeah.
not, they're not being overridden, or at least they're overridden from the time clock operation for some reason.
Good. So that would help us to help you.
Yes.
Understood.
So, and Brian, you said you would agree to reiterate the indoor lighting in a resolution?
We would do that, yeah. That condition, you could restate it, and then that could be an enforcement.
Lightings and blinds.
So I just want to just go back to the board and say, with Paul's earlier comment that, the complaints that he has heard have to do with the light coming from towards Lucas Brook, and then the complaints regarding the outdoor lighting in the parking lot, those complaints are actually coming from AT&T employees. So I know it's not testimony, but Paul addressed some of those items. Does that satisfy the board members with respect to having an AT&T representative? So you can.
Well, that's up to the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting. That's what I'm putting.
I'm fine with what we have. I don't.
You're okay.
It would be nice, but I don't think it's necessary. It's not going to change my opinion.
I'm okay with not having the AT&T representative here, but I do feel like it should have been.
It
Or
should have
someone
been.
should
I
have been.
agree with that. Yeah.
It should have been. I agree. It should have been.
Yeah.
But it's not. So you're okay? Okay, we're okay with it. So we're agreeing.
Okay, so if the board is ready, you could consider a motion to approve the amended preliminary and final site plan as discussed, and the site plan exception for lighting after 11 PM in the parking lot with the conditions proposed by the applicant and with the Paul's report, except as explained in testimony, and with the restatement of the condition that applies to the window and window shades facing Clucas Brook. And I guess the board also wants a condition that the applicant is encouraged to turn off unnecessary window interior lighting and to use shades to reduce the outdoor appearance of lighting.
I don't know that it's encouraged. I think it's.
That's part of the ordinance.
Yeah, I think it's a condition of prior approval.
Certain time except for.
No, I'm talking about all the windows, not just the. If you would like to, it sounds like you're.
Oh, okay.
You're saying, and the witness is even admitting that they probably could turn off interior lights on the window walls when they're not in use. I don't know that it's a big problem, but Mrs. I think the witness across the street indicated that lights are on for the windows facing 206.
And that's, Paul, that also addresses the additional impervious and the reduction of that walkway?
Yeah, it's a net reduction, so no variances required.
So I have a point of clarification. Is the condition on the interior lighting, that's all the interior lighting in accordance with the ordinance? The ordinance talks about all interior lighting. As a woman who expressed an interest living on 206, or are we only addressing the interior lighting other than 206 and Lamington Road?
So Tom's proposed motion was that they have to comply with the existing restriction facing Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
but they should try to turn off all the lights.
So that we're going to give some kind of a variance or some kind of a.
I don't think that's not an ordinance, Steve.
Having a waiver of the provision. I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah.
A waiver of the provision in the ordinance under whatever section that.
Yeah, under the subsection E, it does talk about interior lighting to be shut off at 11 PM.
Right.
However, the prior approval, in my opinion, envisioned that the site would be occupied after 11 o'clock because it had the condition on the shades.
But that was just a condition then.
It was a condition then. This ordinance was after that approval.
Okay. So in other words, it's.
Well, we can't permit them to operate in the building 24/7 and then tell them they can't turn it off.
No, I understand, but I'm just trying to understand what we're doing.
So I'm comfortable with Tom's motion. I'll make that motion.
I am too.
Make it a second?
Second.
Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Ms. Urbana? Aye. Mr. DeGenie?
Aye.
Mr. First?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Wild?
Aye.
Chairman Magacha?
Aye.
Very, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You did that to me last week.
I know, Jeff's invisible, we know that.
I'll take that as a compliment. Not many people tell me I'm invisible.
All right, next week we have Somerset Air Service.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll be coming back.
They'll be coming back to us.
It's with the
Haven't finished yet,
stormwater, right?
gentlemen.
My previous job.
Here.
Hey, we haven't finished yet.
That's all that's happening there.
Does any board member have any comments that they'd like to make tonight?
So at Monday's Township Committee meeting, the Township Committee, we approved the affordable housing ordinance reflecting the DCA and HMFA rules. And we authorized Attorney Pilardo to file the amended housing element fair share plan, and the spending plan to the court, which John has done, presuming there's no other comments coming from the court or fair share housing. We should have a final order by April 15th.
Wow, what's the likelihood of them not having a question or comment?
That they really, because John's already told them and they've reviewed drafts of
Okay,
what we
wow.
done. So that's really should resolve our fourth round of obligations. And now Carrie, which is built into that plan, will be committing at some point to the board for its amended project.
Every time I stop at that light, I think about.
They've been
Like to
busy.
see the,
Well, you might be getting your answer.
Yeah.
like to see the road work.
I have a question.
Yeah.
A question for I guess for Larry, if anyone else knows, on a previously approved project, we approved Elite on Limington Road. And Larry, do we know if those moderate housing units have been occupied?
My understanding is they are.
Do we know the percentage of occupation in that property? Because I pass there a lot and the lights, there's like never any lights on.
Oh, I pass it
That's
every
good,
day.
yeah, the blinds down.
My understanding is that the Elite project, the residential is 100% on.
It is.
That's my
But there's nothing in the retail space, so.
No, there's
There's a sign outside that
there's
Yeah.
there's a is it a cosmetic dentistry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cosmetic
There's
dentistry.
the realtor's office is there too.
Okay.
Really?
Well, they put the sign up, looks like it.
Oh, I thought.
And I think there's a sign on the road that says they're fully, unless I'm.
Yeah.
No, I haven't passed that.
So my understanding is that there was what, 5,000 square feet of retail?
4,000.
Yeah.
That I think the dentist took about 2,000 or 2,200 square feet. So I think there's another 1,000, 1,500 square feet retail in that first floor that's still available. But the residential, my understanding is residential is,
Yeah.
That's good.
That's great.
and they must be drawing their shades. because
Yeah, I guess.
You do see sometimes I'll drive by, you can look, look at the size of that TV. That's a really big TV.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times the shades are drawn, you can't really see.
I know one of the tenants, and they're not here all winter,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
you know, so that may be the case where they are,
Do they like it?
no, they love it.
Because at one point, we talked about trying to get a tour when it was,
I did, and I tried to do that, and it just never
Okay.
fit together, and they were rented faster than, you know, we.
yeah, I have no idea what it looks like inside.
No, I don't either. I'm sure the finishings are very nice.
Go knock on the door.
Well, your friends aren't there. Do you have a key? Let's go.
Yeah, right, right.
Or rent.com or something, or maybe Zillow or something, maybe some of them are on there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Possible. So, okay,
Okay.
I will see you next week. We need a motion to adjourn.
Sure.
Approved.
Second.
Okay. All right. Good to see you.
Good night, everybody.
Parking lot, just so you know. He just.
Get some new lights.
Frank, you gotta say something.
We gotta restart the parking lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Do you have to pay him? It's the same thing.
He doesn't submit bills anyway.
Paul got his work done.